As a fan of the UFC, it genuinely is one of the most funny, or I guess I shouldn't say funny, it's one of the most baffling things sometimes when you're watching a UFC fighter and genuinely they seem like they're one of the most hated people on the planet. Fans treat them like they deserve to be kicked out of their own country, like they just committed a hate crime, okay? And then all of a sudden the next year, like, all of a sudden they pop in and they are beloved. All of a sudden they're a bigger babyface than John Cena himself. The fans can kind of switch up sometimes on a fighter for better or for worse, and it kind of happens a lot, okay? So it got me thinking today I'm going to be going over a lot of the UFC fighters for this year specifically in the big old 2025 that I feel like the fans have had a big perception change for. They're really perceiving them a bit differently now. They either went from heel to babyface or vice versa, okay? So just getting into the first one we got here, man. Lerone Murphy, bro. Now, if this is no Leon Edwards at home, okay? This is the Leon Edwards on top of the Golden Palace, because Lerone Murphy, this guy was getting a lot of shit talked about him, okay? You had this guy, the division was so down bad that everybody was lighting up. Movsar Evloev, okay? Movsar motherfucking Evloev, who all of a sudden, I mean, last year, nobody gave a fuck about him, or it's like everybody was saying, get him away from the top 5, he's boring. Now all of a sudden, it's like, Evloev next for the title shot, Evloev next for the title shot. Lerone Murphy somehow was being perceived by the fans to be more boring. He was kind of battling decision after decision after decision, and he was in the top 7 range. He was 1 away or 2 away from like a title shot opportunity, but the fans, he was just in the rankings. He was just floating about. Like, if anything, he was just a bit more on the dislike side, and if you didn't dislike him, you probably didn't fucking know him, or he just really didn't have any sort of opinion on you. That was kind of the impression that Lerone Murphy gave, okay? He was a heavy decision merchant. He was boring. Like, Movsar Evloev deserved the title shot, and that's the state of the division. But all of a sudden, he went out there against Aaron Pico, and he lands one of the most devastating spinning elbows I've ever fucking seen. And now all of a sudden it's, oh, this guy Movsar Evloev ain't shit. Movsar Evloev, who? Lerone Murphy, he's next for the number 1 contender spot. Now all of a sudden now everyone's saying Lerone Murphy, he's entertaining, he deserves the title shot, no question. Volkanovski's chin should be concerned for the power of Lerone Murphy. It's crazy. People were calling him a pillow puncher and a decision merchant. He's boring. 1 knockout, and granted, it was an amazing fucking knockout. And Lerone Murphy has gotten multiple knockouts in his career before. It's just been a little bit of a fucking while, okay? I've said this multiple times, but Alex Pereira has made his entire UFC run in the time of Lerone Murphy's last 2 finishes, okay? So that goes to show. But Lerone Murphy, man, the dude seems like a chill fucking guy, and I feel like he does kind of deliver every time. He does set a bit of a heavy pressure, and he gets the fuck after it. He can be a bit of a pillow puncher. He can kind of lack finishing ability. He doesn't have anything too brash or crazy on the mic, but it seems like the fact that he took the opportunity against Pico and delivered the way he did. I feel like if he went out there and he had a 29-28 decision, obviously nothing would have changed with Lerone Murphy. Everybody would have been talking about Evloev in the division and Murphy the exact fucking same. But the fact that he went out there, took a big risk, and it ended up fucking delivering. And the fact that he went out there and showed urgency to finish. It was a dogfight for as short as it lasted, but Murphy, I feel like that shit should be a little bit rewarded here, okay? And praised by the fans. He went out there, he knew that it was a high stakes opportunity, and if he delivered with a finish, he could fucking make the most of it. And the dude got us a finish. So for Lerone Murphy, he used to be perceived as boring, decision merchant, pillow puncher, and far away from the number 1 contendership spot, and now all of a sudden he's entertaining and he can crack, and he's obviously next for the title shot for a lot of people. So that's the perception change for Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy, bruv. Leon Edwards is crying at home, okay? God rest his soul for Carlos Prates. But moving on, speaking of the welterweights, Sean Brady. This is a fucking interesting one, because I'm one of the people that has switched up a little bit on Brady myself. I wasn't too big of a fan of the guy. I thought he had a pretty boring style, and it's not that you can't be a fucking dominant grappler or just a heavy grappler, pressure-based style, and just that doesn't have to be boring. That's not what I'm fucking saying, okay? But with Brady, there was just something about him where it's like, I just couldn't get amped up for a Sean Brady fight. Like, yes, the big bad USA wrestling, okay? I'm from fucking America, okay? Like, I need as many Sean Bradys as I can get, okay? I would love another USA champ. But just for me personally, I feel like a lot of people like Sean Brady, there was just nothing to be desired, okay? Before the Leon Edwards performance this year, man, everyone was talking about Brady like he was, if you did want to talk about Brady, he was kind of like the dark horse of the division. His grappling's good, but the fact that he got TKO'd by Bilal Muhammad, it's just such a stain on him. And like, now he's really getting the win streak going. Now in the big old 2025, he's got the Gastelum win, he's got the Leon Edwards win. There's another one I'm fucking forgetting in there, but Brady's kind of cooking a bit since losing to the pound for pound hardest hitter in Bilal Muhammad. Hey, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna outstrike Jack. I'm gonna go against the game plan. I TKO'd Sean Brady. You don't want to fuck with me. But what's the weird thing about doing a Bilal impression? He doesn't swear, so every time I swear, I get a little bit twisted up. But for Sean Brady, dude, he was on the weaker side of being like a 15-1 prospect. There wasn't much to him on the mic or anything. Like, get this guy away from the top 5, and now all of a sudden Sean Brady, he dominates Leon Edwards, and he's on a bit of a win streak right now where he's ragdolling everybody they're throwing. Oh, it was Gilbert fucking Burns. He's ragdolling Gilbert Burns around and shit like that. And Sean Brady, man, he's been making the grappling, at least in my opinion, okay, and I feel like a lot of people may also be recognizing this. It's a little bit more entertaining. It's more dominant. He gets the fuck after it. It's not just smudge grappling. He's actively trying to get into positions that are going to get him some kind of submission or some kind of ground and pound. He can at least advance, okay? He can at least get shit done. It's not just smudging, okay? And I can appreciate that from Sean Brady. I feel like he's in a spot now where last year everyone was saying he's just boring and doesn't deserve to be in the top 5, and now all of a sudden everybody wants him to be against Ian Gary for a number one contendership spot, against fucking Shavkat Rakhmonov for a number one contendership spot. So Sean Brady, especially with the Leon Edwards win specifically, I feel like people were just fucking blown away that Brady was able to just beat him up so badly and just dominate Edwards in the way that we all thought that Belal really did, okay? It makes the Belal win kind of look less good, but in general, man, Brady has been trying to defeat the boring allegations. He's nothing crazy on the mic, but I feel like fans have been really turned around and people really appreciate this dude's grappling. They appreciate the dominance and they kind of want big matchups from here, okay? So moving on up next, I mean, let's talk about another one of the big grapplers, okay? Merab Dvalishvili. Hey, guys, thank you so much for giving me all of the followers and support. Dana White blocked me on Instagram last year. He said I was not allowed in arenas, but now I am champion thanks to you guys. Dude, holy fuck for Merab. It's crazy to say because with how active he is, it seems like the Umar fight was last year, but that really went down this year. Merab's whole title run pretty much has gone down this calendar year, and it's only fucking September, my boys, okay? Merab last year, 2024, I believe he only fought Cejudo in, which was a fun fight, but it was a good win for him, and then he fought O'Malley after that. It was a bit of a year where Merab earned his way to the championship in a really good win streak, but he was getting nothing from the fans. Like, yes, a lot of fans thought that Merab deserved the title shot, but they weren't happy when he won. They weren't happy about his win streak in general. Like, if a lot of people, if you ask them, would you want to see Merab lose? They would say fucking hell yes, okay? And Merab, I just think it's because of the smudging Aldo performance. I think it's because he was a big decision merchant. He's just kind of he's just a goofy goober on the mic. Not a lot to be desired before 2025. So if you're asking before this year, a lot of people, I believe, would say that he is a nightmare for the division. He would be a nightmare champ. He would stall out the division. He wouldn't be active. It would be decision after decision. It'd be boring. But now, all of a sudden, 2025, after the fucking, which it was a really boring fight, but the boring fight where Merab actually won the title. After that, man, banger fight with Umar Nurmagomedov to kick off the year. First pay-per-view of the year, and it's one of the best fucking fights even now. It is still aging very well. One of the best fights this year. He turns around pretty quick and faces O'Malley in a fight that not a lot of fans were really excited for. Everybody was saying it was a dumbass rebooking and it didn't make any sense. And Merab goes out there and actually gets a fucking finish. Shows urgency to finish, okay? His striking's improving. We saw that this year against Umar and against O'Malley. And then all of a sudden he's getting submissions now. And now, on top of that, on top of being entertaining in the cage in terms of his fighting style now, okay, against Umar, but now he's finishing guys like O'Malley. And the O'Malley fight, the rematch, it was a fun rematch while it lasted. It was a good 3-round bit of a banger there, okay? And now, the activity level. I gotta talk about the activity level. He's facing fucking Nerdhagen in October, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if Merab turned around in December. He's probably not going to, but don't be surprised if you see a Merab Dvalishvili title defense number 4 coming in January or February near you, okay? But for Merab, man, the activity, the fact that he's improving his striking, the fact that he's making fights more entertaining, the fact that he's getting submissions, and again, man, he's just a champion on paper, where if he had a little bit more finishing ability and talked a little bit more shit, not even that, man, but whatever, he could be the most ideal champion on the planet. But for Merab, it really has been a change up from the fans. Everybody's saying he would have literally been a cancer to the belt, and now all of a sudden he's the bantamweight GOAT. And now all of a sudden everybody's loving Merab, they're rooting for him, and oh, Sandhagen is a motherfucking dead man. So who the hell knows with that fight, man? But in general, Merab, it's been literally night and day seeing how the fans perceive him, and it's gonna be interesting to see how fans perceive him when he loses the belt, because Merab could be one of those cases where all of a sudden where he's not the champion, people don't care anymore. That's a real fucking thing. That's a real thing. But in general, that's all I'm going to say about Merab, okay? I respect it, though. I respect it. I'm happy for the dude, okay? Moving on next to a fighter where, dude, there's not a lot of respect right now for this guy, okay? It's Yair fucking Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez is genuinely one of the most hated fighters on the roster right now, and I feel like it happened as quick as a Thanos snap, okay? Because genuinely, it's not like Yair was ever super loved. It's not like he was a big name. He doesn't really have that draw, but at least he was always exciting. He's a very dynamic, quick fucking kickboxer. He's got a lot of snappy highlight reel finishes, and the dude knows how to put on entertaining scraps a lot of the time. He's not the best fighter there is, okay? He's got a fair share of fucking losses, but Yair was never getting too much hate, okay? He was kind of like a hardcore favorite fighter, and now all of a sudden in 2025, dude, Yair Rodriguez, yes, he wasn't loved, and yes, he wasn't hated, but this year, man, he's fucking hated, dude. It's the fact that he's been so inactive, and then it's just so pick me kind of energy, and it's just so entitled to the belt. What did you do? What did you do? You beat Pitbull, okay? An old man Pitbull who, yes, he's 1-1 now, and yes, he's fucking taking on Kita this weekend. Shout out for Pitbull for being active, okay? Making the most out of his fucking 40s. He's Grunkle Stan status. But for Yair Rodriguez to think that after that he hasn't won a fight in I think 2 or 3 years before that, and to think that that win specifically gets him a title shot, and then the fact that Diego Lopez, he's talking all the shit to him, he wants to fight him. This guy's saying, wait till you see me in the fucking cage, and then he won't sign the contract, and now Diego Lopez is taking on the Marauder of Gene Silva. Like, Yair Rodriguez, man, you know the UFC wanted him on that Noche card. You know they offered him that fight against Lopez. You know Lopez ain't a fucking bullshitter in that regard, okay? For Yair Rodriguez, man, it's not his fighting style that makes people hate him, but dude, before this year, man, he was pretty just neutral, and now all of a sudden, the fact that he's so inactive and he's just demanding so much or being so entitled, and he's just literally just clinging on, fucking so good at that fucking top 3 spot in the rankings so fucking bad because he knows that one more loss and one fall off from the top 5 and he's fucking cooked, okay? So for Yair, he is a good fighter. He's one of the best strikers, I should say, for this division, but dude, man, I just cannot fucking stand this guy, and I feel like a lot of fans are on the same page, okay? Like before, yes, okay, I could rock with you. He's exciting, but now I just can't take the entitlement, the stalling of the division, the clinging onto the top 5 spot, even though you're just fighting fucking just literally nobody right now, man. He's fought fucking Pitbull, and you're not gonna see Yair fight until next fucking summer, okay? Who knows? Maybe he's got a fight booked against Arnold Allen or some shit later this year. We'll see how it goes for Yair, but the switch up has been pretty crazy, man. From just neutral to fucking guys are throwing bricks through this guy's window, okay? Moving on up next to Jack motherfucking Della Maddalena. I don't even know what accent that was. I feel like that was like 3 retarded accents in one, okay? Jack Della Maddalena is next year, man. If you were going to ask people last year, people would have said JDM, man, this guy is no grappling, all right? No goddamn grappling. Gilbert Burns was marauding him down there. But then turns around against Bilal Muhammad and shows insane improvements this year, specifically in the takedown defense and the defensive grappling department, specifically training me with Craig Jones and all that bullshit, okay? So JDM really defeated the defensive grappling allegations, and also I feel like people would have said that JDM, there's not a lot to be desired, or people really don't care about JDM. He was just kind of like the dark horse of the division. If you knew JDM, people forget, man, JDM, this guy's the next future champ. Book him against Shavkat, okay? I mean, it was kind of like if you kind of knew fighter. Like, JDM was one of the guys where you had Buckley in the rankings, and Shavkat and Gary, all these guys who, if they're not loud and brash, they're fucking racking up finishes or undefeated or all this shit. Like, everyone in the rankings really kind of stood out. And JDM, he is very good. He was very good, okay? But the thing is, there was nothing on the mic, and the Gilbert Burns win was his best win at the time, and, you know, he was dealing with an injury for like a literal year plus, so it was rough for JDM, okay? But genuinely, to come back and go against Ball, and the only thing I really said was that the takedown defense improvements, but man, to go out there and now all of a sudden from being someone who, oh, he's not just the dark horse anymore, he's not just someone that nobody cares about in the rankings, or, oh, if you know JDM, you know, or, oh, JDM could be that upset of a champion. Like, JDM is the champion. He literally fucking damn near dominated the guy who was one of the best fucking fighters in the division. He definitely deserved to touch the belt. Was he entertaining? Not most of the time, but in general, man, like, Bilal, he is a very good fighter. He was worthy of being the champion. The guy had a really underrated resume. He still has an underrated resume, and he had a really good win streak on the come up, okay, to get to the belt. But for JDM to go out there and just show so much improvements, and then the striking is just piecing the fuck up. He had one of the best fights of this year in general, so it was a barn burner, it was a scrap, and people can go back, and now JDM, I feel like he just didn't need the belt to really put him on. He just needed that kind of statement. He needed that kind of performance, okay, and that kind of attention, because yes, like the Gilbert Burns win at the time, it was a big win for him, but his own main event spot, and now all of a sudden, like, a welterweight division has really been cooking from last year, from the time that he actually fought Burns to now. Welterweight has evolved so much. It's been really fucking cooking. It's one of the best divisions, if not, in my opinion, it is the best division right now. But for JDM, man, again, people thought he was just this dark horse or people forget man kind of guy, and the takedown defense was going to be too much of a problem, but now it seems like he's really standing out, and he doesn't say too much on the mic, but the 1 or 2 bars you get from JDM, they're cold as fuck, for no fucking reason, okay? You can barely understand it. It's a bit of a mumble mouth, but we're going to take what we get with JDM, okay? So JDM, that's what I'm going to say for that, all right? So moving on up next now, man, to Arman Tsarukyan, all right? I mean, what the fuck do I even need to say about this one that y'all already don't know? I'll keep this one pretty brief, okay? We all know with Arman, when you were going into that Islam Makhachev title fight in January, like, a lot of people were saying, yes, like, the betting odds are pretty wide, but Arman Tsarukyan, he's the most deserving contender. He's on a great streak. He beat Oliveira. People forget, man, our boy Oliveira and all that shit. And To just see this guy after literally one day. It took one day, okay? And all the infinite timelines, we, my boys, are in the timeline where Arman Tsarukyan pulled out and fucked up the end of Makhachev's lightweight run and fucked up the division. And we're dealing with the consequences even to now, okay? So Arman Tsarukyan, man, that one pullout really just put such a stain in his career. And the problem is he has so much money and he's already so high up in the fucking rankings to where he doesn't feel the urgency to fight. He would have already fought by now. He's been inactive for already a year and a half already. He would have fought a Hooker or a Gamrot or a Patty, whoever. Gaethje, I don't even fucking know, but it would have been somebody. But Tsarukyan, man, like, people, they weren't hating on him before. Even if they weren't a big fan of him, they were neutral at best, okay? Like, people weren't hating on him too much unless you just really didn't like that side of the fucking world. But for Arman, everyone was saying he was so deserving, and now just the one pullout, I get it. I think he should fight one more time before he gets the belt, but dude, I mean, we've been saying that for months. Now it's like, look at the state of the fucking division, because Gaethje and Patty and Tsarukyan are all looking at each other like the fucking Spider-Man meme where they're all just pointing at each other. That's literally what this just feels like. The division just feels so stalled right now, and it's going so slow, and it's such a logjam fucking mess. Not even a logjam, it's just a mess at the top, and all of the fingers point back to Arman Tsarukyan for fucking it up. And honestly, in that way, I can't blame them, dude, because again, it was the whole thing Dana recently said, he did miss weight. It wasn't simply just an injury. He fucking wasn't going to make the weight. And it's just a rough look for Tsarukyan. He's one of the best lightweights on the planet, man, but I don't think we might not ever see him fight again, unfortunately, but it is a big switch up, man. He kind of fucking shot himself with both feet here, okay? I understand that other fighters have pulled out in the past, and a lot of fans are more forgiving, but I just think, and you could argue, oh, why does Tsarukyan get so much hate? Because, oh, maybe he's just from that side of the world or whatever, and I think that could be a fair fucking point. I also think another fair point is that people weren't crazy about Tsarukyan before that, but I think the biggest thing is just because of the consequences. The fact that he really did fuck up the division in the end of Makhachev's lightweight run that badly, okay? The fact that it's literally towards the end of the year now and we're still dealing with this goes to show how rough it was, okay? So I want to forgive Tsarukyan, but let's not forget, all right? At the same fucking time, it's a weird thing. It's a weird fucking thing, okay? Moving on next, I mean, let's just fucking talk about it because they're two peas in a pod right now, all right? For lack of a better word, it's Justin Gaethje, dude. Justin, the highlight reel. Joe Rogan's favorite fighter, dude. The thing about Gaethje is, before this year, I feel like everybody was saying how Gaethje, like, yeah, he was an unk, and yeah, like, obviously he wasn't going to win a fucking belt or anything, but people treated him and Poirier pretty similarly in terms of their skill set, in terms of, like, respect level. Like, people would always tip their cap to Justin Gaethje. Even if you didn't love the guy, or even if you're just neutral, maybe even if you fucking disliked him, there's always, like, this respect in the air with Justin Gaethje, because you know that a lot of the time, most of the time, damn near every time, he does deliver in terms of the entertainment, the excitement. He fucking brings it. He's not as gritty or as putting out banger after banger. He's not on the spectrum as far as he used to be, but he's still there, okay? So that was how people, I feel like, reviewing Justin Gaethje before. But this year, man, I don't even know what the fuck it was. He was gonna fight Dan Hooker. Everybody was fucking excited for it. And then he got switched out for Viziev. That right away was kind of rough, because at least if Gaethje beat Hooker, people could kind of make a better argument for Gaethje earning a title shot, because it's not just, oh, who cares about 2 Viziev wins? He beat Viziev twice. He did the same fucking thing. Viziev hasn't done anything since. So that's a bit of a rough look. And then for him now to just be saying that he's going to retire if he doesn't get the title shot. And it's already been such a year where fans are so sick of all the entitlement to being held to title shots. Like when Tsarukyan saying that shit, and you had a bunch of the welterweights saying it, and then you had Rodriguez saying it. Like, dude, people get kind of fucking crazy with it, especially this year, okay? But for Gaethje, man, I do think there is a fair fucking argument, a genuine fair argument, that he does kind of deserve a title shot, because Tsarukyan does need one more, and Paddy Pimblett is ranked number fucking 8, and his best win is a Michael Chandler, okay? And Gaethje has 4 better wins than a Michael Chandler. So I get that Gaethje lost to Holloway recently, but when you're looking at and I get that also he is an unk. He's not coming off a great win. Yes, it is over Fiziev, who is, you know, a young, hungry dude that is literally coming off of wins right now. He has a good chance to beat Oliveira in October, but in general, Gaethje, man, I just think he's suffering the consequences of the division right now, okay? If he was in a different time, or things were kind of less jammed up, or things didn't switch up with the champions, or Gaethje didn't already lose fucking twice, he didn't already have 2 title shots and get choked out 2 times, okay? Maybe it'd be a little different, okay? But or maybe if he fought Dan Hooker, there's a couple things you could change up in the butterfly effect and change up the timeline to where Gaethje fans could see a fight against Topuria early next year and they wouldn't be as upset. But literally, dude, that's what we're getting. I'm telling y'all right now, we're going to get Gaethje versus Topuria, I feel like January or February, and everybody's going to hate it, especially those hardcores. Like, obviously, the casuals are just the general public. They're just going to be munching on their little CM Punk ice cream bars, and they're going to be pointing to the TV, and they're going to say, oh, I know that guy. That's just a motherfucking Gaethje, okay? And they're going to be hyped for that, or they're going to recognize Topuria, okay? For Gaethje, we all know how talented he is. We know he's a good fighter. We know how much blood and sweat he's given us, but in general, the entitlement, fans aren't fucking here for that shit, dude, okay? We want to see people actually fight. And if you do want to retire unless you get a title shot, a lot of fans are just like, then just retire. Then just don't hold shit up. But the fact that there's that entitlement, the fact that he's coming off the Fiziev win and nothing greater, and fans really hold the Holloway loss really hard to Gaethje, I've noticed. They really hold that loss over his fucking head like a mistletoe on Christmas, okay? And for Gaethje, these things are adding up to where fans really have switched up. Like, he was always kind of that, like, even if you didn't love him, you could respect him kind of fighter. But it seems like everybody now in 2025 is just randomly hating on Gaethje. Everybody's just sick of Gaethje, or maybe it's just the fact that they really don't want him to get the title shot. Like, I'm sure if just Justin Gaethje got another fight booked right now against somebody in the top 5 or 8 or whatever, people wouldn't be hating on him. They'd be like, okay, he's fighting. But the fact that he's just sitting out right now and he's saying all this shit and people just want to see people scrap, I guess, it is what it is. I can understand it from the fans, and I'm not necessarily fucking happy with Gaethje, and I don't want to see him versus Topuria. I don't, man. And I don't think that Gaethje is like this rightful number 1 contender, but I just think that it's just fucked right now, bro. It all ties back to how Tsarukyan fucked up everything, man. Arman Tsarukyan's fuck up was so bad that Justin Gaethje is one of the bigger heels on accident right now this year. It's crazy to say, man. But moving on up next to Reiner de Ridder, the S-tier goofy goober himself, man. This dude last year went from literally accidentally slipping into KOs, like there was a wet floor sign in the middle of the octagon, to now he is literally one fight away from earning a title shot opportunity, okay? And yes, it's not the DDP versus RDR scenario that we wanted, but RDR will avenge DDP's goofy gooberness, okay? And it's crazy to see this, man. Like, when RDR last year, the perception of him from the fans, I'm pretty sure the only time he fought last year was towards the end. It was against GM3 in like an Apex card, okay? He wasn't even going to be like in a big spot either, but like I remember a bunch of fights got canceled, so he got moved up to the co-main. For him to be that, like, the UFC didn't even want to give this guy a lot of attention. That's what that says to me. Like, he was a former 1 double champ, and he was on like the fucking second man of the relay spot on a fucking Apex card. And it wasn't even a good Apex card. Are there good Apex cards? No, but you know what I'm saying, okay? For RDR to do that, and fans are saying, oh my god, this guy's going life and death with GM3 in the Apex, like, how is this guy gonna fight at a ranked level if GM3 is piecing him up on the feed? And yes, he was able to get the finish, but like, oh, this guy's so goofy, and it's just, how does it make any sense that he wins? And dude, for him to go out there in 2025, and he has gained so much respect from the fans and has earned a lot of fucking attention from the fans, okay? And I think he's one of these fighters where, dude, you see it with Carlos Prates, you see it with Merab Dvalishvili, you see it with Joshua Vanna. If you are active, if you're a very active fighter, fans have no choice but to see you and recognize you, and most of the time, even if you're a fucking heel, they can fucking respect you, or at least admire. Like, look at Ian Gary. Ian Gary is a fucking heel, okay? He's one of the more hated fighters in the fucking company, but the thing is, he's so active, and he genuinely does fight everybody to where, like, a lot of people don't really hate him compared to what they would if he didn't have that kind of mindset. But the fact that he does, yes, put on a bit of boring fights a lot of the time recently, but the fact that he's still active as fuck and defending his fucking spot in the rankings, and it's up or down, it's whenever, it could be on a week's notice, fans can at least respect that, okay? And I think with RDR, he's not a heel, that's not what I'm trying to say, but he's so fucking active, and it's just crazy to me that he's only started fighting in the UFC in 1 calendar year, pretty much, from November 24 to his fight with Fluffy is in October 25, so 11 months. It's crazy to say, dude, but RDR has given us no choice but to see him. And dude, yes, he's on the older side of things, but for middleweight, he's not too fucking old. So the fact that he's really just this active and he keeps on winning, and most of the time it's dominantly, it really is a lot to be said there, man. Like, submitting Kevin Holland, who's already a very active fighter, submitting Kevin Holland in January, knocking out Bo Nickel, okay, I was there live, thank you so much, knocking out Bo Nickel in May, beautiful to see, turning around 2 months later in July, and taking on a massive step up in competition in Robert Whittaker, okay? The difference between competition and Bo Nickel and Robert Whittaker is like comparing Pops from Regular Show to Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger, okay? So for RDR, man, to go out there, and yes, it was a very close fight, but to go out there and beat Robert Whittaker, a lot of people said that Whittaker won, but it was close enough to where, man, you can really see it both fucking ways. RDR went out there and he was able to really cement himself in the top 5, and it wasn't just forced or fake hype. Like, he really has been active and slowly just moving his way up, and now all of a sudden he's taking on Fluffy in a number 1 contendership fight, man. RDR, man, the fans fuck with him. He's putting on exciting fights, he's putting on finishes, and we can dig that. He's well-rounded, he's goofy as fuck, and he went from being just somebody who I feel like fans really didn't see him going far, or people I feel like thought he was just going to be another Bellator, another one championship, another PFL guy, another Rise, and whoever, another guy like that in the UFC, another one of these outside promotion fighters. But RDR has proven, man, that he is UFC level, and he's here to fucking stay. We have a lot more fights and a lot more years from RDR to come, and it's crazy to say that it literally feels like yesterday he was getting all the goofy goober allegations, and this guy isn't going to go anywhere, and now all of a sudden, genuinely, he has a good chance to beat Fluffy Hernandez, okay? Moving on up next to Renato Moicano, man, and this one hurts because I'm pretty guilty of switching up as well, Moicano here, okay? I like Moicano, man. He's still one of my more liked lightweights, all right, but dude, there has been a switch up. If you asked last year, man, I mean, me specifically, Moicano was my favorite lightweight. I was rooting for him. I thought this guy, I'm laughing, dude, because I was this guy, bro. I'm like, Moicano's about to have a top 5 or top 7 run. I never thought he was going to become champion. I never thought he was going to get a title shot or make it that far. But, dude, I was riding the streak. I was riding the hype. I was listening to Show Me the Money Pod. Like, I was rocking with Moicano heavy. He was so active, too. And then the fact that he was getting pretty fucking good wins. Moicano, man, like, really was one of the better standout fighters of 2024. He had a great 2024. It didn't seem like he was a bit of an unk. He seemed very in it, dude. And now, all of a sudden, dude, one butterfly effect later, one fuck up for Arman Tsarukyan, dude, and then he just gets dominated by Islam Makhachev, and then he gets ragdolled on the ground a bit by Beneil Dariush, okay? And yes, he knocked him down in the first round, but I think that goes to show how much more of chinny Beneil Dariush is instead of how powerful Renato Moicano is, if that makes sense. But, dude, Moicano this year, man, I feel like everybody has just fallen off the hype train. I feel like people are tuning in less in the interviews. And the thing is, before, this is how I could summarize it, before, you really felt like he could not afford to lose. When Moicano was fighting, when he said, I cannot afford to lose, you believe that shit, bro. But now, when he's out there like a day later after getting fucked up by Beneil Dariush, and he's like breaking his like $1,000 TV and shit, he can afford to lose, okay? And then he's like hopping on the podcast. He's just, I'm sure he's upset by the fucking losses. I'm sure he's upset more than anybody about the change up this year. But dude, he's just so involved with all the shit now. He's opening up a gym. He's got a kid coming in, and it's just like he's got all the podcasts and he's doing all the shit. Like Moicano just seems like he's one step out the door. He's just like, we knew he was always just fighting for money, but he really just can't just afford to lose now. And it's just going like 2-0 last year, 3-0 last year, whatever it was, to now just being 0-2, and everyone's saying he's one of the weaker fighters in the rankings now, and he deserves to face like a prospect killer on the rise now, and Moicano who, and it's crazy to see, okay? He was very loved by the fans, and he still is loved. He's still very loved by the fans. If Moicano shows up to a press conference tomorrow, you know he's going to get one of the biggest fucking pops from the crowd, okay? We love Moicano still, but you can't lie. There's just there's less urgency. There's less of just an oomph when you're thinking about a Renato Moicano fight coming up, okay? Because there's no more win streak. You could tell he's one foot out the door. It seems like you could tell he can afford to fucking lose. So for Renato Moicano, man, I feel like it's been a little bit disappointing as a fan of Moicano, it's been a little bit disappointing to see how this year has went. But it is what it fucking is, okay? And moving on to the last one we got here. I don't have too much to say about this one. I'm keeping it very brief. But Jon Jones, it's not really a switch up. It's more of like just getting more exemplified, okay? If Jon Jones being hated was in just text before plain old Comic Sans, now it's in the most bold text you could fucking get, okay? It takes up the whole page. Because Jon Jones, if you said before, if you ask most fans, do you like Jon Jones? I feel like most of them would probably say either no or like he's all right, okay? But now, dude, he genuinely is just so fucking hated, and it's not even about the hate thing. If you ask people like, where is Jon Jones on the GOAT rankings, he would either be number 1 or he would be number 2. And if anybody said anything else than that, it was one of the worst takes on earth. And now, dude, now there's really genuine debates. I've done hot takes episodes of this where Jon Jones, multiple people, that Jon Jones doesn't even deserve to be in the top 5 GOATs anymore. The top 5 GOATs anymore. This guy literally last year, pre-Stipe Miocic shitty-ass fight, okay? People were saying he was the undeniable GOAT or the undeniable second GOAT, okay? And now it's like people don't even want to think about Jones. They just want to get rid of the legacy, okay? And I don't fucking blame him, okay? It's like PTSD with this shit. And for Jon Jones, man, he really did just shoot himself in both feet, dude. With all the allegations and all the fucked up shit he did and all the popping for roids and the hit and runs outside of the cage, he was an embarrassment to the sport. I'm happy as fuck that he is retired, okay? The only fighter I've ever genuinely just hated, man, okay? For him to be hated before, but now just genuinely, just overwhelmingly hated to where 200,000 plus people are signing a petition to get rid of you from the UFC, and the fact that you went from being the undeniable GOAT of the sport to now people don't even want to put you in the top 5. It goes to show that Jon Jones, man, it's a bit of karma police in here, okay? Get some Radiohead in here, boys. But that's going to be it for the video, man. I appreciate y'all for making it this far. Thank you so very much, man. It really means the world to me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think of my picks? What do you think of the change-ups from the fans? I almost put Movsar Evlov on here as well. Let me know what you think in the comments below, boys. I would love to fucking hear it, man, all right? So let me know your thoughts. I appreciate y'all a lot. I think we have UFC Paris this weekend, so I hope you have a good time watching the fights, my boys. All the smoke here. Have a good one, man. Thanks so much for the support. I'll see you all next time.